I mean, there are so many aspects of it internationally that are going to be tricky. I mean, one, you know, of course, with importing, we now live in a world where you could, let's say the medical device is manufactured in India, right? And they have different manufacturing guidelines than we do in the U.S. The U.S. government can get around that, you know, can still regulate what kinds of devices come to the U.S. by regulating how the website appears in the U.S. or regulating through import controls what kinds of things you are able to ship into the U.S. But that's changing too, because you could imagine now with 3D printing, you can imagine ordering a device that's designed in India, but it ends up being printed in the U.S. in the basement of someone's house in your neighborhood using their 3D printer. And are American rules going to regulate that, or Indian rules? That's an open question that's going to be really tricky. It's not so tricky when you're talking about 3D printing of toys, although it could be, I suppose, if they're like a choking hazard or something. But with medical devices, it's obviously trickier, right? And some decisions are going to be made at the country level, but when we're talking about devices that can be built or connected to a global network, the regulatory question becomes an awful lot trickier, which is all the more reason for long-term sustained conversation about what responsible global norms look like in this space.